What's up, everyone? In this video, I'm going to be helping you to better define your business or organization's brand personality. So, if you look anywhere in the world at the world's most well-known brands, you got Apple, you got Coca-Cola, you have Google, Toyota, Ford, any well-known brand that you know of, the reason why they're well known to you is because they've shown up in a common and consistent way over the long term. And because they've consistently shown up the same way, they've become predictable to you. And because they've been predictable to you, you can better anticipate their movement, what they're going to do, what they're going to say, how they're going to say it, how they look when they say it, so much to the point that you've developed trust over all this time because they've been doing those things. To the untrained eye, it might seem like a lot of these brands do this accidentally and it just so happened to work over all these years, but that couldn't be further from the truth. A lot of these brands have deployed a sophisticated yet simple brand strategy to help them be consistent over the long term. And in this video, I'm going to be helping you figure out how to assign a personality to your brand for your business or organization so that you can be consistent out in the marketplace for your audience, for your customers, and even for your employees. And in this video, we're just going to be going through something called brand attributes. Now, it's really important to define that this is different than personal branding. Corporate branding and personal branding are two different things. If you want to build a corporate brand, you're defining things so that a multitude of different people can be on the same page, and it really creates the possibility for consistency to be achieved even when you're working amongst a bunch of people. On personal brand, building a personal brand is more about figuring out who you are so that you can properly articulate that to the world, and it's not all about business goals, right? So I just wanted to put that out there that those two things are very different. But if you're building a business or organization, this video is for you. So we're talking about brand attributes. Now, defining all of these things isn't the key thing about this video. This video is showing you how to lay out a system in order for you to define these things for yourself. So if you don't know these things yet, it's okay, because that's the entire point of this exercise. So as we're going through this, I have a bunch of words written on the board behind me. And these are the things that we need to figure out for your business or organization so that we can nail them down, communicate them to your team, and eventually to your audience, your customers. And those are your values, your culture, the benefits, behavior, voice, and look and feel. So defining all of these things, again, is what's going to help you to be consistent. So let's take a look. So your values, that's the foundational reason of why you're operating as a business or organization. Maybe you value authenticity. Maybe you value accountability. Like, these are examples of what your values might be. Your culture. Think about, some of the world's biggest brands like Apple. Apple is very well known for efficiency and innovation, right? So those would be two words that could define Apple's culture. Benefits. These are the things that you benefit the world. These are tangible things. What do your customers, what do your audience get by interacting with your brand? Next is behavior. How do you behave out in the marketplace? It doesn't matter if you are operating a retail storefront or if you are creating an ad. How do you behave out in the world? It's very important to define that. Next is voice. How do you speak? Think about Chick-fil-A, for example. When you are at the counter or when you're in the line at the drive-thru, they always say, "My pleasure." That is not an accident. That is a defined thing that the company has put into play to make the brand more recognizable, and that is part of their voice. And then lastly, you have look and feel. So how do you look when you're out in the marketplace? How do your videos look? How do all the graphics that you produce look? How does your website look? How does your social media profiles look? How does every single touch point, meaning every location at which a customer can interact with your brand, how does it all contribute to a solidified and consistent look and feel across the board, right? So I hope I properly described why each of these things is important. Now, this exercise is intended to really help you to figure out all of these things. Now, the key about this is we're going to go through all of the columns: values, culture, benefits, behavior, voice, and look and feel. And we are just going to spit out multiple adjectives that define each one. So you can do this with your team. You can do this with maybe some loved ones or friends that might be able to help you through the process. But essentially, all you're going to do is set a clock, make it a 5-minute timer, 10-minute timer, whatever you want to do, and have yourself and any stakeholders who are involved in the process just spit out some different adjectives that define the values for your company. So you might, be going through for that 10-minute period, and you'll go through and you'll fill out multiple adjectives to define your values. And then after that 10 minutes is up, do the same thing for how to describe your culture. Go through, spit out a bunch of adjectives for how you're going to define your culture, and do the same thing all across the board for benefits and behavior and voice, and then look and feel. And then once you've gone and you've done that for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, however you want to do for each column, once you've done that, then you'll further narrow down the list to, let's say, 3 different options for each list, right? So you'll go through, you can set another 10-minute timer for each column to do this process, but you're going to go through and you're going to identify 3 options from all of the adjectives that you described to define each of these areas of the brand attributes. And then you might have predicted this, but you are now going to go back through and you're going to pick only from the 3 options what is the primary option for each column. And then what I do with a lot of my clients as we're going through brand strategy is the primary option that you pick. Here, let me get another marker here. We'll do green. So you might pick one option from each one. So how this will work is once you've narrowed everything down, the green or whatever color that you decide to use would be the primary attribute for each column, and then the existing 2 left over would be supporting attributes. And once you've done that, then you would have the primary attribute for each column along with 2 supporting attributes for each thing. And that really helps you to be flexible as a brand, right? It'll be kind of hard for you to only have one value. So maybe your value can be a primary value that you find most important. Maybe it's ownership, something like that. And then you have 2 supporting values that support those things. And the same for culture, the same for benefits, behavior, voice, look and feel. Now, once you've figured all of those things out, these things have a direct correlation with your brand messaging, with your marketing and communication, with your design aesthetic. Pretty much every single piece of the business is going to be influenced by the things that you figure out right here. And this is what's going to help you to be consistent over the long term. Now, I'll also say this: do not beat yourself up during this process because you can't think of enough words or you don't feel like you're moving fast enough. This 10-minute timer for each one, or 5-minute timer, that's just a recommendation that I give to some people because it helps them to move faster. Sometimes setting up a time parameter helps people be more efficient, but for other people, they really need to chew on it for a long time. I've been in meetings with clients figuring these things out and it takes an hour, and I've been in meetings where it takes 5 hours, right? The important thing is to figure everything out and to nail it down, because these are not things that are ever going to change unless you rebrand your company 10 years from now. So I hope this helps, and I hope it helps to just visualize how all of this works together in order to help you to be more consistent, thereby more predictable, and thereby more trustworthy. If it helped, do me a favor and drop me a comment below. Make sure to like this video, because it's come to my attention that there are actually some people who like my videos. They just don't say anything. I've closed deals where people see these videos and they meet with me and they're like, "Hey, love your videos," but when I search back, they haven't engaged with any of them. So if this helped you, please let me know. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Let me know what you think of the whiteboard. Peace.